Potato soup. It is the absolute staple of my diet as a child. It's why I am very obese as a human, and I do not apologize for it. I love potato soup, and we're gonna make it even better today. Sorry, Grandma, but this is gonna be better than the old recipe.
If you're anything like me, you probably have a couple pounds of leftover brisket or chopped beef from your last cook where you just cooked way too much, or you went to your local barbecue joint and just absolutely ordered way too much barbecue. We all have that problem. It's something we all got to deal with at some point in time. The weather sucks right now, so I figured let's put this stuff to use in my absolute favorite recipe. And yeah, I'm wearing a different shirt because I forgot to film this part yesterday. So, Hollywood magic is going to fix this though. Thanks.
All right, guys, to make any banging potato soup, you've got to have 4 key ingredients. And without these 4, you really can't make it. You got to have potatoes. I love the petite little gold ones. They kind of just cook down better. You got to have cheese. Use block cheese, not shredded. Block will melt down better, and Tillamook is the best. Then you got to have bacon or a protein of your choice, but everyone loves bacon. And obviously for today, chopped beef. All right, guys, so we have our 5-quart stock pot. Let's go ahead and be efficient with our time while we have to prep veggies. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing preheated to medium-high heat. I'm gonna be boiling 8 cups of hot water initially for these potatoes. Really, the rule of thumb is just you wanna be able to dump in the potatoes and have about 1 inch of water over the top of them roughly. We're gonna add some salt to taste, obviously. While that's coming to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and get our potatoes diced up. Looking for like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, but really it's a matter of preference. It's how big a potato do you want in the finished product of your soup. So whatever size you want, get it cut to that size. We're gonna go ahead and dump them into that boiling water. We're gonna cover it. We're gonna give it a quick stir first, then we're gonna cover it, let it boil for like 30-40 minutes to get nice and soft. We don't want them fully broken down, but definitely nice and soft. While those potatoes are boiling, we're gonna go ahead and get our bacon cubed up and diced up, and get all of our veggies diced up. When it comes to the veggies, guys, we're looking for just kind of a nice, thinner dice. We're gonna cook them down. I don't wanna be here all day cooking down veggies though. This is also a great time for us to get that butter ready. As many ingredients as we can get prepped now, let's go ahead and get it done. Just makes it easier in the process later down the road. All right, it's been about 30-40 minutes now. These potatoes are ready to get removed. We're gonna remove them from the boiling water, put them in a bowl, cover that bowl, and set them aside until we're ready to add them back in later on in the cook. All right, so we went ahead and dumped that excess water. We did keep about 2 or 3 cups of it to the side, just in case we have to add it later on. It's always great to have that starchy water as a side component later on if needed. We're gonna cook down this bacon until it's to the crisp level that you want. I prefer that you over cook it and over crisp it during this process because we are gonna add this later to the creamy soup and we don't want it to lose that crunchy texture if we don't have to. Then pull out all that grease. We'll save some of the grease, obviously, for other ingredients down the road. We're gonna preheat this pot, get it hot again. Go ahead and add our butter to it. Once that butter is fully melted in there and it's nice and hot, we're gonna dump in our onions and our celeries. And guys, I will have the exact measurements for this recipe in the description down below, so don't get too caught up in like how much I'm dumping in right now. cook those veggies down, stirring occasionally just to make sure we're not burning anything, but you want them to start to get that translucent color to them and start to get nice and soft. Once you've hit that color, you can go ahead and start adding some of your flour in. Not really an exact measurement for flour, guys. I just add flour until I get kind of a nice, thick, almost mud-like substance kind of texture to it. You're really just looking to add a nice kind of floury roux base. At that point, we're then gonna add in our milk. Now the key here, guys, is you've got to do this slowly. Don't just put all 6 cups of milk in there right off the bat. Slowly stir in those 6 cups, cup and a half at a time till it's fully integrated. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and add your heavy whipping cream, cover it, bring it back to a boil. Get our cream cheese prepped. As well as go ahead and get that Tillamook cheddar diced up. If you have a shredder, guys, use the shredder. It's gonna melt and integrate way easier. I, for whatever reason, lost our shredder. I probably got upset one day at the restaurant and it got in the way and I threw it away and blamed it for some issue that day. So couldn't find it. So I went ahead and diced it up. Nonetheless, it's still gonna work for today's recipe. All right, so that is brought back to just under a boil. I'm now going to go and add in 32 ounces of chicken stock. I used Swanson because I didn't have any sitting around the restaurant. If you have your own chicken stock, make your own stock, guys. It makes it 100 times better than any commercial stock you can buy. Give that a quick stir, integrate it in there, cover it, bring it back to a boil. All right, guys, Rio baked potato seasoning. This stuff is absolutely banging. I use it for more than baked potatoes. It's great on French fries, but it goes on a lot of the stuff at my house personally. Instead of just SPG, I'm gonna add this stuff to there for our seasonings. Go ahead and check them out if you haven't already. They're a great family company at Huntsville, just north of us, about 30 minutes. They're super, super cool people. All right, so we covered it. We brought it back to a boil. We're now gonna go ahead and add in our cream cheese into this recipe and let that kind of melt down. Once that's fully melted in, you'll start to see a little bit of a texture difference. It'll start to thicken up just a touch. Go ahead and cover it, let it come back to a boil for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and add in our cheese. Same thing as the milk with the roux, guys. Slowly integrate the cheese in just a little bit at a time until it's fully melted in. Dumping it in all at one time, there's a chance it doesn't melt and kind of gets stuck to the bottom and burns, and no one's gonna want burnt cheese in their potato soup. You'll start to see the color difference from that cheddar cheese. That's when you know, like, all right, this is about to be really, really good. At this point, we can go ahead and add back in those softened potatoes from earlier. We'll stir them in, we'll bring it back to a boil, cover it, let it sit. After a couple minutes, you can go back in and add that crunchy bacon. And again, let that kind of start to break down a little bit. Once that's fully integrated, this is the time you can add that chopped beef from wherever you had it earlier. Make sure you stir that in to fully integrate it and let all the flavors kind of cook together. This thing is looking thick with 2 C's, boys. Once you add that chopped beef in there and you bring it back to a boil, let it cook for like maybe another 15-20 minutes. At that point, it's done. Cut the heat, you're good. Set it aside and try and see how long you can hold off before you have to start topping this thing. Cheese, jalapenos, you got to have it in this state, and then green onions.
All right, guys, the soup is done. I love my grandma, but I really think we made this 10 times better. Chopped beef makes everything better. I know everyone has at least a pound or 2 sitting in the deep freezer somewhere. The weather's such right now. It's 32 to Texans. That's -40. So we're all in our massive thermals and got our hot hands ready. So I can't wait to tear into this soup. I've got a cold beer as well because no matter how cold it is, it's Texas. We always drink ice cold beer. And no dish is complete in this state without some fresh jalapenos. It's thick, it's creamy, it's salty, it's smoky. You get the richness from the brisket, from the cheese. This is my all-time favorite soup, especially when the weather is bad like it is right now. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do need some help from y'all though. Comment down below, what do y'all want to see next, guys? I need more video ideas. I'm getting a lot of kind of the same ones. I know you want to hear fire management and other things, and we're definitely going to cover that at some point, but let's get some really cool ideas, and I want to share I'm giving you guys exactly what y'all want to watch and what you want to see from us. So like, share, comment down below, tell your friends about it, tell your family about it, guys. It really, really helps the channel out the more it grows. The more it grows, the more time I can dedicate to getting these videos done and bringing the content you guys actually want to see. So take care and God bless.